All right,
Hello.
here we go. Ooh, that's a nice little voice recording in progress. All right, happy Friday, happy November. Hope everybody's kids, if you have them, or yourselves, if you went trick-or-treating, have all recovered from the candy hangover. I have not, my kids have not, but you know, whatever, that's what we do. This is MVP Office Hours on November 5th. My name is Dale Ziegler. With me is Joy Shutters-Helbing. Say hi, Joy.
Hi, Joy. Oh, that's me.
With us most of the time is Squire Kirshner. He unfortunately was not able to make this one. He has an important work call, so we have actually hijacked his Zoom line, as you can see by my name right there, not Squire Kirshner. But you can follow any of the three of us at our personal Twitter handles right there, and then right above it, the MVP Office Hours handle. You can also email us at our Gmail here, but we strongly encourage you to go to the Success Group, and you can get information on any meetings in the future at mvpofficehours.info. Over here on the right is all things events and webinars and all the learning things and all the local things as well. Starting up here in the upper right is anything Salesforce events, which we just got through Dreamforce a month ago. So Salesforce taking a little bit of a breather right now. There's customer success events, and then trailheads events and webinars, which the webinars, I love that site if you're looking to learn anything or to learn something you may have missed, because it's not only upcoming live webinars, but the recordings as well. A very robust filtering mechanism to really hone in on any particular content or topics you might be looking for in case you did miss it live. So definitely check those out. And then the upcoming Dreamin' events, See Dreamin', that's a new one to me, but it'll be virtual out of the APAC region. Cactus Force in Arizona after the first of the year, and Higher Ed Dreamin' in NOLA. So go look up information on those. Those should be good events. And then, as I mentioned, local, I think probably half of us are now, well, actually probably more than half. Let me look at the list really quickly. I'd be willing to bet almost 70-75% of us are local community group leaders. But for those who are not, and you're looking for a group to join, definitely go check out these. Start local, branch out regionally. Some are getting back into in-person. Many are still virtual. And of course, the beautiful thing about virtual is you don't have to just stick to your local or your regional. I know here in Kansas City, we've drawn international attendees all the way from the Netherlands and India and Singapore and Australia. So virtual, you're a click away from being able to join someone else in the other part of the world to talk all things Salesforce if you're interested. So definitely go check out these links if you are looking for the local user groups. So as I mentioned, the success community is our friend. We do have the success group, MVP Office Hours US, where you can post any question anytime, potentially even get your question answered before the call, which that means you don't have to wait for this call twice a month on a Friday afternoon. We do have an email address, but that's only accessible to myself, Joy, and Squire, so a limited audience versus the whole group of, how many are we up to on this one, members? That many. I'm no mathologist, but that's more than 3. So if you have a question that needs to get answered immediately, you'd have some really good chances if you post your question there. So besides just us in the US, we do also have MVP Office Hours in Portuguese, and I see Carlos, aka Jason Momoa, on the call. Carlos, you want to talk to us really quick about the Portuguese call?
First of all, TMI, I was admitted in the hospital on Sunday and left yesterday. No funky matters. I had pneumonia.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'm in the recovery, but yeah, MVP of Sales Portuguese happens on the last Thursday of the month. You do not need to speak Portuguese or Spanish, and we welcome everybody that decides to join. It's a lot of fun. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Carlos, and hope you get feeling better super quick.
Really glad you're not in the same boat as Jason Momoa.
Right.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so whew. Our calls, first and third Friday of the month, Portuguese last Thursday of the month. So be on the lookout for those. So what are we doing here with MVP office hours? Well, we meet twice a month, like I said, normally the first and third Friday of the month. We have had a few months there where we've had to go off cadence either because of holidays or release update webinars or whatever, but we're back on our normal cadence. So our next call will be in 2 weeks on Friday the 19th. This is an open Q&A session. Anybody can ask, anybody can answer. Registration, we actually need to update that. Well, let's just, on the fly editing, now that we have the new bit.ly. You can catch recordings through our YouTube channel or links from Twitter and the community, and of course use our favorite hashtags to help boost the reach, I think, as the kids say. We are recording this session, so we'll be posting it later on our YouTube channel, that if you missed anything and you want to go back and watch again, or if you missed the call altogether, or you want to go back and watch previous calls, they're out there. The only thing is, if you cannot be recorded, please jump off. We'll share it as soon as possible, but if you can't be recorded, don't want to be recorded, we need to ask you to go. Sorry. Just mute yourself when you're not sharing. We all know Zoom etiquette at this point. If you have a question, you can either raise your hand in the chat or post it in the chat as well. We are monitoring that. We just ask that if you unmute, introduce yourself so that we know who you're talking to or who you're talking with. And also, just like I renamed myself Not Squire because I am in fact not Squire, please just make sure that your name is actually yours. We know we have had some instances on this call, and I've had with a few user group meetings where kids have jumped on Zoom lines, and what gets signed in with is like a gamer name or something like that, which is totally fine, whatever. But this is a semi-professional. I bring in the semi-professional call. We just want to know who you are and your real name so we can identify you. That's all. You can share your screen, but please, if at all possible, do not share a production environment with production data, client data, if you're a consultant, anything like that. Feel free to show us a sandbox, a dev org. We can share links. We do that a lot. Any resources you possibly can, just please try not to have it be a real life production org. We will then also share out links and other resources shared with the deck when we also share out the recording, which will be sometime later this weekend. I'm heading to my in-laws here in a couple of hours, so I probably won't be back online until Sunday night, but I'll try to get the recording up as soon as I can. Everyone is encouraged to participate. It doesn't matter if this is your first call, your 204th, anywhere in between. This is open for everyone, so please speak up. Yeah. Who are our MVPs? Who do we have? I see Joy. I see me. I see Carlos. I see Stu. I see Jake. We got a really good crew today. So thank you, MVPs, for jumping on. And thank you, everybody, for jumping in, because, again, we can all help each other. Our resource link Hall of Fame, order of execution. I can almost guarantee that this will come up as an answer. The Salesforce data access model, that's also a highly popular one. And then the Mandela effect, go research that one if you don't know what it is. And the golden circle, I can guarantee that I will ask why at some point over the course of this call. So we didn't get the deck updated with this, but we did have a couple of comments roll into the success group within the last couple of hours. Okay, so Daniel Malone, is Daniel on? Is my boy from KC on? No. Okay. Where does the opportunity product flow exist? The one that fires after a new opportunity is created, create an opportunity via screen flow, create related object, uses flow fields from the opportunity. Not sure if I can or should. That's always a great, just because you can doesn't mean you should. If I can or should fill in the price book and product in the screen flow and the flow, blah, blah, blah. I know you guys are going to say, Daniel, you should know this, but I'm lazy and you guys are so smart. I'm going to say, no, Daniel, you shouldn't have to know this, because as soon as you start talking about price book, it gets wonky real fast. And I want to say in 10, 11 years of being in the ecosystem, I've been able to produce it in a dev org once. So anybody who can read this question, I'm going to go on mute and any of y'all jump in and if you know the answer.
Oh, we need a flow person. It's not me.
Well, not even flow first. I would say a CPQ person, or maybe not full on CPQ, but I mean, opportunity, product, price book. There are definitely some hidden dependencies across those objects.
Yeah.
Yeah, is that even exposed?
Yeah, my question is this when like you create a new op and it says add products, is this
Mhm.
that flow? That's what he's
think
talking
so.
about, you think? Yeah.
Yeah, the default, he's asking about that default, how that pops up.
I
And
have no idea.
But I think within the native UI, when you try to create a product on an opportunity, you're forced into the price book creation or tying together process somehow. And of course, flow or any development, you're on your own. You're charting your own path and hope you dotted all your I's and crossed all your T's.
Yeah, I don't think it's a flow. I think that products and price books, that the way that they are built, like the relationship in which I think you have to look at the schema. I think you have to look at the data schema of what child the parent-child relationship between products and price books, because there is something that is going on there, first of all. I don't think you can create.
There's something in the opportunity settings. There's a checkbox prompt users to add
Exactly.
products. Yeah.
On the
right, that's really useful when it's required. But if they're not required to create an opportunity, then it's kind of a pain in the butt. But yeah, that checkbox is really like the only toggle I've ever had any need for here. But I'm trying to understand, and I wish Daniel was on the call. He's asking about where the opportunity product flow exists, because the one that fires after a new op is created, right? So that's what he's looking for. And he wants to create an opportunity via screen flow and create a related object that uses fields from the opportunity. And I'm not sure if he should fill in the price book and product in the screen flow or just end the flow and then let the Salesforce opportunity screen flow then run a new flow to create the.
So
It's,
I don't know if this is the same. We use orders and items, order line items in our org, which are sort of similar. And I have created a flow that you can add order items in the flow. You have to use the native functionality. And I think the flow works better personally, because it's a little bit more, I set it up so it's more intuitive for what we do at my org. It sort of depends on the use case, I think, but it's definitely possible to assign price books and order items. I don't know if it works the same with opportunities, but I would assume so. So you definitely can do that in Flow. Skip.
right. I think, yeah, I'm trying to understand the crux of the question even.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
if he should, like, where he should allow the default piece to like take over, or if he should just overwrite it entirely.
I'm curious if he wants to add like default products to his opportunity, and I'm wondering if that's what he's trying to get at. Because yeah, you can definitely assign the price book to the opportunity and the flow. That's not an issue. I've done that many times. I wonder if he has more than one price book, because that might be a good reason to assign a price book, depending on the type of opportunity. That way it will direct the types of products that can be available for that particular opportunity. Also be cautious of multi-currency. If they have multiple currencies in there, that could also screw up things, because if you select the wrong currencies and price books, nothing returns as well. So I think for that particular one, we need more the
Yeah.
why you're doing it, then not so much how to actually solve it.
That's absolutely like right, Jacob. Now that you've said that, I understand the question now. So if he's trying to create a flow, create a screen flow that includes opportunities and opportunity line items, should he fill in the price book and product information in the flow or not in the flow? It depends, right? Is he using, because I've been in this situation before where if you are selling products like to the government versus to the private sector, well, that might be in two different price books. And so then how do you know? You would have to then expose that. Or like you were saying, Jacob, are you selling it to two different countries? Then you might be in two different price books because of currency.
Mhm.
It depends on what your users are expecting to see when they get into the screen flow.
Yeah, in the flow I built, we do have two different price books that I allow users to choose between based on person that's making the order. Like it's either a member price book or a non-member price book, and it defaults according to that person's status, but you can choose to override it if you want to. Long story there, but I think when we first started, we did use the like create an order and then use the add products button on the order page to like pop up that, I don't know if it's a flow or visual force, is probably it's a modal that lets you add the products, and we decided that the out of the box functionality wasn't like, I wanted to move it all into a flow, so that I don't know, I guess that would be my recommendation, is that if your instinct is to put it in a flow, put it in a flow. Like there's nothing wrong with that. But again, like Stuart said, it totally depends on what the end was.
So, a few different ways to tackle that.
All right. Well, I'll ping Daniel and let him know that we chatted about it, and he can check out the first 20 minutes of the recording to see what we hashed out, see if it
Yeah.
helps him at all.
Yeah. Definitely more than just a clear cut answer, just because of the other factors. So yeah. Okay.
We had Marty with their hand up if there's nothing else.
We had one other one come in really quick: how to send push notifications in the mobile publisher app.
Okay.
But that also appears to have gone away, so maybe it got withdrawn,
Oh.
like a
All right.
deleted comment. So
So Marty said she sent something in, but Marty, it would probably be faster for you to explain it.
Yep. It's more of a best practices. So I have a client that we are madly creating dashboards, many. And there is a 5 dashboard limit of dynamic dashboards. So I'm looking for best practice of creating dashboards, and then the choices are view dashboard as me, view as another person, view as the dashboard user, or let dashboard viewers choose. So best practice as to how best to create dashboards so people can view them correctly.
why so many dynamic dashboards?
Well, that's really the question, is if you're creating them and you're creating them as person X, theoretically, the people seeing them can all see them the same way. So what's the best way to create dashboards? That's the question.
Marty,
Yep.
Marty, what's your security policy at your organization? Is it?
Oh,
is it
so
a
it's
lo-
I'm a consultant, so it's not mine, but the
Well-
security policy of here is pretty open.
It's open,
So-
okay. Because if
Yeah.
you said lockdown, I'd have a totally different answer for you. than
Right,
open.
no, that's sort of my issue too, is it's open. Well, let me rephrase. It's very open. We have a few folders that are not that are not available to everybody, but then they wouldn't be able to see anything, which is good. But of the ones that can access these dashboards, they can see everything.
So follow-up question. If you know you can get 20 elements on one dashboard times 5 is 100, how many KPIs does the company actually have? The first question really should
Let's
be.
not go there because I've been
Well,
there.
but that's the
The
first
answer
question
is
that
a,
needs to be
the
addressed.
answer is a lot. And they love seeing them, and they're doing it. Yeah. Okay.
So the answer isn't always Salesforce. The answer
Right.
isn't always just go build something.
Right. I understand. You're.
I know
preaching to the
you
choir.
understand that, but that's like that's
Been
where
there,
so many
right, right.
organizations tend to fail is, oh, well, we paid for Salesforce. It's going to fix everything. No, it's not.
Right. No, they get it, and they're looking, and I think I would say the good news is a lot of these at this moment are valid because they're trying to figure stuff out and plan for next year. So that's sort of the
So
issue. But I want to be sure I'm setting them up the kind of the best way.
one of the things that I've done in the past, Marty, is make a specific dashboard for the users that need the things to be dynamic, so they can look at like the stuff from their own perspective versus the stuff that is like company facing, and have like two separate pieces there. And so like that dynamic dashboard is really for the folks that need to look at things selfishly as their own stuff, and kind of reduce the dynamic stuff out, beyond that. But that's one way I've worked around that a little bit and try to pack up all the, like, say, you have salespeople, for instance, right? And they've got their team dynamics and their company dashboard and their team dashboard, but they also have my dashboard, which then has like my opportunities, my accounts, my leads, my tasks, my events, my stuff. And it's not even, it's just a little bit easier way to pack it up. But, it really comes down to prioritizing what needs to be dynamic.
And then, okay, so if they're not dynamic, then when you choose me or another person,
I usually, so I typically have a system user that is kind of like a dummy user that I set up because I tend not to link things to myself.
right?
in
That's what I'm
recruiting
trying to
and
avoid
building,
also, right?
right?
Right.
Because, as a consultant, you're not necessarily going to be an active user.
Right. No, I have access to
Right.
Other users, so.
Right. And so, but even like, for, growth purposes, like other people at the company move around and leave and change, and their permissions might change too. And, I set them up as like company system admin, view as if that's an appropriate viewpoint, and it's not dynamic at all then.
Okay, yeah, I want to go back and make sure it's the boss man who would always be there. Okay, thank you very much.
Say, Marty,
Yep.
another thought option. It's kind of make not Squire's head explode. But we kind of ran into this thing where we run out of dynamic dashboards. And this was not a dashboard per se, but a tab. And it had to be at the top of the tab. They have to see this chart, but they have to be, per user. And there's only 5 or so users. It's not that we had thousands. But with Lightning and the tab, the gist of it is drag the Lightning component onto the Lightning page and filter the visibility. So we had to make 5 reports, filter to those individual people, and drag the component on top of to the top of the page.
Yeah, I mean, you can definitely replicate dynamic dashboards with Lightning pages. That's been done.
Yeah, right. Yeah. My bigger concern is if it's not a dynamic dashboard, how best to do it. And with Joyce said, I need to go back and double check that I've got the right person as the default person in all of the others. So.
Well, and there's also though, non-dynamic dashboards, like dashboards have to have some kind of an aggregate element to it, which gets you, charts and all of that. So if it's for a team and there's no issue with like team-wide metrics being shared, that particular user clicks on their slice of the pie to then drill into their own, their subset of their details. You don't have to buy a new, you can, Christy messaged me to say that it is possible to buy more dynamic dashboards. I definitely wouldn't recommend it, but it's a way to not have to buy one and still get a user to their information from a broad.
Yeah, and to be clear, they don't need more dynamic. I just need to be sure I've got the right default. So that's
Right.
perfect. Thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah. Okay. About to have some dead air here unless someone else has a question. Ah,
All
Sarah,
right, I was totally reading.
you're good. Go for it.
All right, so I think I have what's going to work for me as a solution to this problem, but I now wanted to just throw it out as a, how would you solve this requirement? Which is looking at the sum of opportunities in the last 12-month period, right? So sort of like on a rolling basis. So it's some sort of roll-up summary. So, right, we're looking at DLRS. In this case, I think I'm going to use PSP roll-ups, customizable roll-ups, and actually switch it to last 365 days. But I wasn't sure, or I wasn't aware of, is there like a last X number of months filter that you can use in something like that? Does it work?
So the syntax of last X months, next X months, last Y days, whatever, all of that, those are fairly universal, whether it's reporting or in some querying statements, but you got to be careful of what they actually mean.
Yeah.
Last 12 months, if you were to do that today, does not include this month.
Okay, so it's like
It
really
ends
is.
with yeah.
Last
So
month.
go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. Last month. And then last 12
the ones
months,
before that.
Yeah.
So it would be, if you wanted to include November, you would say this month and last 11 months, last 12 months.
Right.
And so weeks might be a way to go, but days is going to give you that shift, but the numbers are going to change daily then, as opposed to kind of being, this is what it was for the last 12 months, not including this month. And I've run into that a number of times, and a lot of folks kind of get a little bit confused in their head. They're like, the number was this yesterday. I'm like, well, yeah, you said the last. You just have to like make sure you understand what they're asking for, or define very well what you're delivering, because calendar math is not everybody's friend.
Now,
Yeah.
I mean, if you truly are going for a rolling 365, last 365 days, including today.
Today
You gotta say
today
last 365 and today. Yeah.
That's a very good hint. I would not have necessarily thought of that. Yeah, the context is we're looking at changing to sort of a levels using, I don't know if levels is universal, if it's a nonprofit thing, but looking at a person's donations in the last 12 months to determine their membership level. And so have historic on a monthly basis, like if you give at any time during November, your membership starts on November 1st, right? Like, so last 365 days is a little bit of shift from that. I talked to our director of development. She said, yeah, that's fine, but it would be cool if we could also, if I could show her the options, basically. I just wasn't sure about the rolling months in a roll-up summary. So that would work as like put it in the query of a DLRS or something like that should work. Yeah.
Believe so. Been a while since I've
Okay.
touched DLRS, but believe so.
Okay. Or if there's a better roll-up tool, I'd be happy to hear it.
Well, there's this thing that Salesforce made called flows.
Yes.
You may have heard of it.
I was thinking about that.
And you can do loops and counts of things, and then record those counts on an object using flows.
Okay.
And schedule that flow to run like once a month or something.
Yeah, flows have really improved,
Okay.
so they can run via trigger or via scheduled.
I have a thing. If nobody else has a question after this one, I have a thing that I want to dive headfirst into with flows.
Nope, sorry. There's a question about text area.
There's already more questions. Sorry.
Todd, Todd. Okay, Todd is officially out of Tuesday's Kansas City user group meeting because I was going to say something. No,
No, I like Todd. Todd's welcome anytime. Anytime.
Let's keep going on Sarah's topics because let's get
I think
it depends on what you want to report on, what you need to report on, and expectations of what changes, what's going to change when, and just very clear communication. You may be able to do it in DLRS. I don't love creating a custom field that's a check. Like you could do a checkbox formula that does the math on however many last days or if the date, whatever. There's a number of ways to do it. None of them are totally awesome, but there are a few ways to do it.
Yeah,
I will say Steve Moe has a particular formula in his presentation that talks about that you might use to kind of jumpstart your brain on what you want to do. I'll find it and send it to you regarding his formula. Did it close on a certain date kind of thing? And it's very dynamic.
You're actually, Christy, you're actually going to post it in the community, right?
What?
I need to find it right now. I just gotta go find it.
Have you ever talked to Steve Moe? Steve Moe also has thoughts about validation rules and validation formulas and how to do that. I know that Dale has no opinions about validation rules, but
this is not it's not a validation more. It's
I know that, but there's somebody else that has opinions about something. So
no, I've taken Steve's formula though, the one that you're talking about with the date, and I've consolidated several lines out of it to actually still get it to work, which makes troubleshooting a heck of a lot easier. I had to do it for a client a few months ago, but anyway, yes, a number of ways to skin that.
No, we're
not doing any of that. I think we're talking about Sarah's roll-up problem.
Yeah.
Has she solved that problem?
Yeah, I think some ideas. I mean, as we all know, like we said, several ways to put the puzzle together.
That was a much better way of saying it than I did.
To build a sandwich, to
yeah.
Like, you know, there's always at least 3 ways to do things in Salesforce. So,
right.
All right, where are we at? This text area, long field, long text area. What's the question?
The question is, it's a text area long. Why can my users put emojis in them?
Because it's not rich.
Well, it's not rich. I shouldn't see emojis or other stuff. It's a text area, right?
Oh, they can?
Yes, they're pasting them in, and it's tearing up the integration group's integrations because the configuration they have sees the emojis and it thinks it's a whole new record and drops half the record and inserts blank ones and then just basically throws up and quits.
Can you make a validation rule for that?
Well,
yeah, how is it getting populated? Are they manually putting it in there, or is it some type of activity that's?
Because what is it? Is it
it's like a note.
Slack, it's in Joy, I know where you're going. In Slack, it's like : name :
No, well, but like in a lot of things, I know Windows based, and I can't even talk to you about what Mac based is, but the Windows period pops up like an emoji toolbar. And so I'm curious if you can not just like slap their hand and be like, stop with the freaking emojis. You're breaking the tool. Or if there's a way to block that. See, Stuart, that didn't pop up the way I wanted it to, though. Stuart put a question mark in quote in parens, and it should have like given us like the emoji. But our chat in Zoom.
Yeah, that's supposed to give you a circle with a question mark in it. But
a text area long should not be allowing these. Is that what you're telling me?
No idea.
Have thought, but if it's happening, it's happening.
I wouldn't have thought so either. You know, we've tried different techniques to get rid of it, trying to find them and replace them or just remove them. And
so is there a reason why you're using text area long in the first place?
It's supposed to be special instructions on like specifications for a certain part of the yearbook.
And it makes sense to have more than 255
Yes.
characters?
Yes,
Oh,
it
wow.
does.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
Huh.
But yeah, integration group came to me saying, how do we stop this? I'm like, didn't even know they could do it. That's when I double checked that it's not a rich area. It's just a text area long. So.
Interesting.
And my searching has turned up nothing so far.
So for everybody trying to break Zoom chat, trying to create emoji, Zoom
Sarah
chat is not
wins.
that smart to render those characters. You have to physically put in an emoji to get an emoji. Zoom is not that smart.
Yeah.
All right.
Windows period. That's how you
I'm
do
just, can you create would a validation rule work?
How
Well,
do I
you'd
detect
have
it?
to put in a bunch of,
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
that's the problem.
You potentially could, but do a data export to a CSV, like through data loader. Look at the records in a CSV because that will get you the actual character breakdown. If you've got an HTML field, it's going to give you HTML markup.
Gotcha.
If you've got any kind of weirdness, it's going to give you what gets rendered in like an 8-bit or whatever format to then
Okay.
ultimately get it. To then say, okay, if I know I have maybe a few combinations of characters, or if maybe there's a regex or something, at least you can start to hone in on where it's been detected.
Yeah, we had one, they pasted like 20 emojis in.
what? Why?
Right, but all it takes is, but if you have a validation rule that finds even just one,
True.
then
True.
the presence of one is all you need.
Okay. I'll go see what we can do. Thank you much.
Taco says hi. The only thing I found in Salesforce around emojis is the chatter stuff, but that doesn't help us at all. Ugh.
I never
All
come
right.
with anything easy, do I?
That's okay.
Okay, well, you know.
So Bill has some questions about the unofficial SF table view flow component.
Has anyone ever used it before?
uh,
Thought I got it working and now it's not working anymore. Does
When
anyone
did
know what it
stop
is?
working?
Table view, not data table.
Data table. I think that's what it's called.
Data table.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've used it a lot.
All right. Maybe if you look at my flow, you could see how much I messed
Here,
it up.
let me stop sharing.
It also depends on which version you're using because they have a whole bunch of
I
different
have the
versions.
newest version.
Okay.
I just checked that. Okay, I share my screen. Up. Host disabled, participant screen sharing.
Okay, hold on. Advanced sharing options. Who can share? All participants.
Wonderful. Alrighty. So this is my flow. So I'm getting, this is NPSP. So I'm getting my opportunity. I'm getting all the related allocation records, which is it's not really a child object, but then I'm putting that in a collection of those IDs, storing all fields. And then just make sure I get the opportunity ID. So basically in the data table component, I want to, I'm using this newfangled wizard, configure columns. All right, and I just have 5 of them, and I go to next, and then I set the first 3 to be able to edit, and that all works. What doesn't work is it doesn't actually save the records. So
yeah,
it's supposed to be able to leave this with no, you know, no other action, and it's supposed to save them, and it doesn't.
So
like an autosave?
Yeah, so I'm supposed to be able to go in here and say, put today's date. And I hit save. And then when I look at the related record, or if I refresh it, it'll disappear because it didn't actually save it.
And so I'm asking an ignorant question here, because I've never used the component, but does your flow actually have committing that record you've created to the database?
It doesn't, but in the example they use, that doesn't either.
Well, but does the example
need
need to, though? Does the example need to show it if
I don't
it's
know.
trying to say here's where you put the screen element?
I've been working. I've been burning the midnight oil, and I can't remember if this ever worked.
Sarah says she knows.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't.
Sarah, try turning off your own video. It might help you out.
I'll turn mine off too.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't have the answer, but I can help by putting emojis in the Zoom chat.
Oh, Stuart. Oh, Stuart. That emoji question has got my brain like just crazed. Those are actually really funny.
What did Sarah say?
She said she's having some Zoom.
Oh, okay.
It's gonna come right
She
back.
has the answer though.
She thinks she has the answer. Yeah, for sure.
Because when I debug it, it shows like everything's successful. It says something like it, but I'm so sure it's a weird message.
Oh, it's saying it is successfully creating.
Yeah, well, that's, but it's not telling me any detail.
Are they just not related correctly?
No, it's not.
Oh, are you sure? Because I actually think I did something like this the other day in that flow that I think I made.
Oh, so like in the relationship here?
Right. Like, is it actually related to the record? Like, or are you creating these like somewhere else?
No, it is related. Oh, well, where would it go? Oh, wait, maybe.
Know.
Oh, maybe. Hold on a second. Yeah, maybe I got the wrong object.
I don't know.
No, it says select object allocation.
Right, but then there should be a place to drop in. If you're creating child records of something, you should be able to pass in a variable of what the parent record is supposed to be.
Like the master detail combo.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's not a master detail. So I definitely have to, this should have something where it's like, what's the relationship field, right?
So can we go back to your test, the sample that you were making? Okay, so we're looking for an allocation, and can you go to allocations tab, I guess, in your in your life here? No, not the related ones, just allocations.
Oh.
So go into your waffle and type
got it. Yeah. I don't know why NPSP labeled everything different in different places too. That's really confusing, but.
And so,
sorry, that's the wrong one. Sorry.
Okay, cool.
Okay. I'm back on my phone, so hopefully this will work better.
Okay, so here it is. This is it.
So yeah, I'm wondering if they're coming in the wrong place, like they're showing up somewhere else. Tell us, Sarah.
In the data table component, there you have to output the edited rows as a variable and then update them in the flow.
How come there's no example of that?
I don't know.
why did it just show like this just works? Okay, so
yeah, the tutorial is really not great.
I'm not crazy. I was just tired. I never actually tested this damn thing.
Yeah. So if you go down to scroll down to where it says like, oh no, in
here
in this, on the data table, I think there's something at the very bottom about like manually, advanced, under the advanced tabs all the way down.
Down.
Keep going down. Keep going down.
Right above done. Right down one more.
Advanced.
Oh, advanced. Oh, there it is. Okay.
And then manually assign variables.
There it is.
Yep. And then there's one that says like edited roles.
That's okay to delete, I guess, right?
Yeah, well, I think it.
Yeah, there isn't anything there anyway. Yeah, okay.
So click there. And then output edited rules. You can create a new collection basically of the edited things, and then you do an update on it. There you go.
Okay. I could not find that on this page.
Yeah, I think it might be in one of the older tutorials. It's sort of like if you
Oh,
follow
because
data
they
table
updated
along.
part of the new tutorial.
Yeah.
It wasn't made for a new user.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
I
so
can handle this.
the tricky thing is you'll notice there's both output variables for edited rows and selected rows. And I don't know if you're letting them select things, but you just, there's a
No,
little
no,
bit
no.
of,
It's just gonna be edited. It's only gonna be
Okay.
edited, so that's easy.
and the
Yeah.
other thing about the edits is when the user is in the data table, they have to click the save button
That I
after
got.
they've done edited. Okay.
That's good.
Cool.
No, that they understand. So I just wonder,
Yeah.
I wonder if I did this and somehow it got reset and then I pushed it to production. That's all I could think of. It must have gotten, I must have undid something. I reset this. I forgot I said it, or I never did it and I just was tired. Okay.
Yeah. But that
Lifesaver.
should help.
Yes. No. I was just saying there's something missing here. Cause like, why would it say it committed it when I didn't even tell it what to commit really?
Yep.
All right. Wonderful. I've done some weird stuff with Dolores, but I can't remember what I did. Like I have a problem just with my memory lately. But it's like your level thing, I feel like I've done certain things similar, but I'm pretty sure Deanne has fixed them and converted them to flows. I stopped trying to use Dolores to like, fill in the things, parts of programming I can't do.
Yeah, I want to convert a lot of that too. Anyway.
So we don't have